Right there, the fact that Al-Qaeda is set up by the CIA, and Al-Qaeda means the CIA base. There's another one. That's by the former top secretary in the British government, Robin Cook, who resigned and died shortly after, saying the lies about WMDs were evil. He said throughout the 1980s, Osama bin Laden was armed by the CIA and funded by the Saudis to wage jihad against the Russian occupiers of Afghanistan. Al-Qaeda literally means the database, was originally the computer file for thousands of mujahideen. He was killed by this. Robin Cook was off for bringing this out, who were recruited and trained with the help of the CIA to defeat the Russians. Inexplicably and with disastrous consequences, it never appears to have occurred to Washington that once Russia was out of the way, bin Laden's organization would turn its attention to the West. Well, it was done so they could take our liberties here and launch the wars. When you're a global banking cartel and want to take America's rights, you have trillions to yourself in no-bid contracts and invade all these countries, you stage an attack. Kids understand Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Palpatine attacks himself to take control. Hitler blows up his own Reichstag. Our own government attacks its own ships to blame it on North Vietnam. So we've got that report. Here's another one. Alleged trainer of 9/11 hijackers, a CIA informant. So was the 7/7 boss. Turned out to be MI6, British intelligence. There's just countless examples of this. And then shifting gears more into the future. Remember, Kurt Haskell came on our show first and said he saw the government get the underwear bomber on the plane 2 Christmases ago, almost 2 years ago. And then later on C-SPAN, the government's, the Undersecretary of State had to admit, yeah, they were ordered to get him on the plane to by the CIA, basically. The State Department did indeed put Muttalib on the plane at the behest of an unnamed U.S. agency. Later, we turned out to be CIA. And then, of course, the CIA tells Congress Al-Qaeda to attack in 3 to 6 months. CIA boss Leon Panetta told Congress today that homegrown extremists working with Al-Qaeda, we'll cover that next, will strike America within 3 to 6 months. That didn't happen. The recruits will be clean and have no trace to phantom terrorist organizations, according to Panetta and other intelligence groups. That means cut out black ops who will then blame a patsy that looks similar to them. That's how the standard paradigm works. And then, of course, we were told the biggest story of 2011, voted by Newsweek and others, is the killing of Osama bin Laden, even though they released fake photos and claimed they buried him at sea, even though they claimed they had videos while Obama watched him being killed. Turned out that was fake. All of it was completely fake and has been proven to be a manifest fraud. And I've had high-level CIA people contact me off record and say, yes, it's completely fake. Continuing, Iran has now been accused of Al-Qaeda's secret deal by U.S. officials, and they've had a federal judge claim that 9/11 was carried out by Iran. Well, wait, I thought it was Iraq that turned out it was a fraud. Or never look at Saudi Arabia with 15 of the 20 hijackers or 15 of the 19. No, it's Iran, and we've got to attack them. And they just got caught with that whole fake report of the used car salesman trying to attack the Saudi embassy in D.C. Just more manufactured garbage. But something they hope you don't remember is that Anwar al-Awlaki, it was in Fox News last year, and InfoWars also reported on it, radical U.S.-born cleric Anwar al-Awlaki killed. They claim that they killed him, and I predicted that would happen just a few months after it came out. Show the next slide, please. That Fox News... No, it's the middle one right there. Yeah, it's fine. Leave all this in. It's fine. Exclusive. Al-Qaeda leader died at the Pentagon just months after 9/11 with the Secretary of the Army. While he was on the news as number 3 in Al-Qaeda most wanted, there he is. And it turns out he runs the underwear bomber, the Times Square, Major Hassan, these useful idiots. He actually works for the globalist and is setting all of this up. Good job, guys, showing that information. And then, of course, we have this final article. Thanks to Obama, the Al-Qaeda flag is now flying high and proud over Libya. And the Daily Mail reported on that. We have links in this American Dream article. You can follow those links. And Al-Qaeda has been put in charge there, and now they're sending Al-Qaeda into Syria. Al-Qaeda is the secret globalist cutout black side, dark side army, black op army that they use. So let's back it up to the front because it looks a lot better, like Marcos originally made it, and play that whole timeline from front to back as I close things out here. So again, Al-Qaeda, the continued army of the New World Order, taking action. Here's another one. Free Syria Army, now led by NATO Libyan Al-Qaeda commander. That's also being reported. So this is where we stand. They have these manufactured armies. And when a good old boy says, we've got to have the army on the streets to fight Al-Qaeda, ask him why in all the manuals it's about conservatives, libertarians, gun owners, people that support freedom and the Constitution, Ron Paul supporters. Ask him why none of it has to do with Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is just the backdrop, so the criminal banks that run our military and our government have a pretext to use that system against the American people. That's what's going on. That's what's happening, and that's what we face as a society. And I know we're heavy on news, heavy on information here. I'm not some idiot reading off a teleprompter or some info babe acting like I'm in love with you looking at the camera that you think is looking in your eyes. I'm a real person who studies this and understands it, and I want to turn it around because I want to be free, and I want my children to be free. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back with our guest, who I was telling him, don't go public with your name, and he said, no, now's the time to do it. And he works for the Department of Defense as a federal employee in Space Command, you name it. So that is coming up after this break, dealing with the fact that in these FEMA documents, not only does the military run the camps, they're the blue guys, the good guys, the American people are the red. Al-Qaeda is listed as red, and the government listed as blue. Same thing in Afghanistan with the Taliban. We've always known this. I've been to the drills and seen it, but this is the public force structure from official government websites. This is the plan, hidden in plain view. This is extremely newsworthy. We'll be right back. It's InfoWars Nightly News. Don't forget, we've got the 15-day free trial reinstituted. It was so popular. If you're watching this later on the web somewhere else, want to support real, hard-hitting news and information. And folks, we are risking our lives, our honor, our sacred honor, our families, our treasure, everything. We need your support now more than ever, and you can get a 15-day free trial at prisonplanet.tv right now or get 44% off on a year. We're going to come back with this breaking news straight ahead. Thank you for funding the truly alternative media.
What's up with these sorry politicians? Lots of bark. When it's showtime, whimpering like little shih tzus. You want big cuts? Ron Paul's been screaming it for years. Budget crisis? No problem. Got $1 trillion year one. That's trillion with a T. Department of Education? Gone. Interior, Energy, HUD, Commerce? Gone. Later, bureaucrats. That's how Ron Paul rolls. Want to drain the swamp? Ron Paul. Do it.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.
If you believe in this information and want to support its viral spread, go to the InfoWars store at InfoWars.com. We've got the new G.I. Joe InfoWars t-shirts. We've got the incredible Pro Pure gravity-fed filters available at InfoWars.com in the store. We've got a new DVD, Scientists Under Attack, the Don't Tread on Me flag. We've got all sorts of different bumper stickers to help spread the rebellion virally. It's all there. Wristbands, citizen rule books in every order. Order online at Infowars.com today. The water filters, the canteens. It's all there. Infowars.com. At the beginning of this broadcast tonight, I broke down the latest information concerning the activation of continuity of government in this country at a level we have not seen since the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. In this case, the entire architecture of the COG system is pointed at legitimate constitutional government, the states, the governors, the general public. You see drones being activated against rural communities in North Dakota for cows on their property. You see state reps and governors calling for military to be on the streets of Illinois and Louisiana. It's all happening right now because the world economy is preparing to implode. It's all part of an organized program that we warned you about 12, 13 years ago when they got rid of Glass-Steagall to sell derivatives of the planet, get the planet to tie into that fraudulent debt and then implode the legitimate governments of this world and fold them into a private corporate banking cartel system that the technocrats and the kleptocrats call the New World Order. Now, You'll know that 2 weeks ago, we were sent by state employees documents that were public, but no one had pointed them out, with Kellogg, Brown and Root, who'd been given the contracts, according to Wall Street Journal in 2006, the contracts to build giant FEMA camps for emergencies across America. Then we got new documents a few weeks ago that they were now getting on 72-hour notice local teams ready of subcontractors to man them on a 72-hour notice or 3-day notice. Then expanding from that point, we received more documents that the Department of Defense was involved and that FEMA was basically orchestrating the entire operation. Then today, a frequent caller who gets through on the radio, Angie, in the Carolinas, called, and I talked to her off air, and she said, no, my husband, works for the Department of Defense. That's why we keep pointing this stuff out to you. This is on the official federal government websites for contractors, and you need to understand it's got blue group designations. I went, wait, I've been to urban warfare operations. It's blue and red. In Afghanistan, it's blue and red. Now, they were transponders. She's like, that's right. Here's the document. I'm emailing it to you. It's public. And we went and pulled it up, and sure enough, I recognized everything in there from the drills I've been to. First one was in 1999. And the Marines even let us in there in Oakland to their situation area in a big tent, and it had the red group fighting the blue group, who were the militias. And then I went in where they were doing interrogations of actors who were playing the part of U.S. citizens, and they would ask, where'd you get the weapons? And later the Marines freaked out that I was able to get this footage, and we were threatened. We were told, well, this was classified. You shouldn't have seen it. And it's in my film, Police State 2000. The Sunshine Project here in Texas got documents through FOIA where the Marines are training with drones and helicopters with pilots with opiate knockout gases in plans to knock out whole cities during insurrection. And you can pull this up. The Sunshine Project was threatened, and the government said, remove that or we'll come after you. It was accidentally declassified. I mean, this is the type of stuff I learned, and I'm like, we got to warn people. Now, that said, we went ahead and talked to Angie off air, and then I talked to her husband, and I was telling him, sir, we probably don't want to use your name because you work as a civil servant, former Navy veteran, in the Department of Defense in some pretty highly classified areas, and he didn't get into any of that with us. And he said, no, I want to have my name public. This country is in so much trouble that this stuff's all public. It's just people don't know where to look, that I'm going to go ahead and use my full name, and I'm going to go ahead and speak out here because America's all on the line right now. I mean, this is really creepy stuff when they're openly passing the NDAA, saying they'll arrest U.S. citizens. It was on the news today. They're saying they'll kill U.S. citizens if they want. Obama says he'll kill U.S. citizens in America. In fact, that was on C-SPAN a few nights ago. We've got that video. It's overwhelming what's happening. And now all over the news, they're saying use the military on the streets to protect the American people. They're selling us on this. The TSA is now running checkpoints on highways. This is classical martial law, as Ron Paul said last Tuesday on my radio show. The NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, is martial law. So, Joe